Thursday, September 10. Welcome to CGN News. Prominent Caribbean journalist Owen Baptiste, who served as the executive chairman of the Barbados-based Caribbean news agency CANA, died in Trinidad on Tuesday. He was 87. The CMC says that Baptiste, who served as editor-in-chief at the Trinidad Express, the Trinidad Guardian, the Catholic News, and the now-defunct Caribbean Contact, was reportedly ill for several weeks. A journalist for more than 6 decades, Baptiste worked at newspapers in the Caribbean as a reporter, columnist, and editor. He also lived in Beijing, China in the 90s, teaching English and exploring the culture. His book, entitled The Seagulls Won't Come Down, is an exposé of the colorful times Baptiste spent with his students and their families as he reinvented his life in the Orient. The recollections and anecdotes, written as letters to his sons, are a primer for teaching English to the Chinese. Baptiste is survived by his wife Rona and son Simon. His other son Mark died earlier this year. The island of St. Kitts has been upgraded to low risk by the Center of Disease Control. In its latest update on travel recommendations by destination, the CDC upgraded St. Kitts and Nevis COVID-19 risk assessment level as, quote, no travel health notice. COVID-19 risk is very low, end quote. The assessment classification signifies that St. Kitts and Nevis is among the safest destinations worldwide for individuals considering travel at this time. St. Kitts and Nevis is one of 10 Caribbean countries to have this CDC classification. Barbados is looking to fill a population gap of about 80,000. According to a report in Barbados Today, Prime Minister Mia Mottley says the government is amending its immigration laws to take a more liberal approach. In an interview on the Pat Kenny Show, a News Talk podcast on the topic Recruiting Irish Barbados, Mottley disclosed that they are in the process of settling a new immigration bill in the country. Mottley says she had established a National Population Commission after her party came into office 2 years ago. As a result of the work of that commission, the discovery was made that the country had not really replaced its population since 1980 in terms of fertility and growth. According to her, the country is probably 80,000 less than it ought to be. The African Heritage Foundation, AHF, is championing the cause of Rastafarians in Barbados as they put pressure on the government to change laws. Their mission is to make it legal for members of the Rastafarian community to use cannabis in their places of worship, including their homes. President of the AHF, Paul Simba Rock, addressing one of the foundation's virtual sessions, labeled the continued prohibition of cannabis in Barbados as tyranny and oppression. Rock also recently announced the launch of the civil society group Cannabis Barbados, which he says is the voice of the people. Former Prime Minister of Jamaica Bruce Golding will address a 2-day symposium reflecting on the Commonwealth's 4 decades of international election observation and its contribution to democracy. The London-based Commonwealth Secretariat says the September 15 and 16 event will reflect on the Commonwealth's electoral history with the aim of helping stakeholders improve and adapt for the future. Golding served as the leader of the Commonwealth Electoral Observer Group to the March 2 disputed regional and general elections in Guyana. He will be among speakers addressing the topic reflecting on the Commonwealth's electoral history and evolution, personal perspectives. The Dominican-born Commonwealth Secretary-General, Patricia Scotland, will deliver the keynote address at the symposium. Overseas now, a record number of Americans are renouncing their citizenship. For the first 6 months of the year, over 5,000 Americans gave up their citizenship. The figure now puts the country on track to see a record-breaking 10,000 people renouncing for 2020. 10 years ago, less than 1,000 Americans gave up their citizenship per year on average. The trend, according to information, began in 2013, midway through the Obama administration. That year, about 3,000 Americans suddenly gave up their passports. The paperwork for the 5,315 renunciations completed so far this year began long before COVID-19 ravaged the country. Surveys show those who surrendered their passports are already living abroad and hold another citizenship. China's UK embassy has asked Twitter to make thorough investigations after its ambassador's official account liked a pornographic clip. The ambassador's account also liked posts that criticized the Chinese Communist Party and showed blindfolded Uyghurs being detained. Officials claim that anti-Chinese elements had viciously attacked Mr. Liu's account. The activity first drew attention after the account liked a 10-second video posted by an adult-themed page containing clips with Chinese language descriptions. The clip was subsequently unliked. Twitter has yet to comment. Toxic hand sanitizers that have been banned in the United States are reportedly being sold freely in Mexico. Bloomberg News reports that the sanitizers are still being circulated widely in Mexico, raising concerns among health experts that scores of people using the gel may be slowly poisoning themselves. 4 people died in the U.S. and 3 people partially lost their eyesight this year after drinking the sanitizers, prompting a testing campaign by the Food and Drug Administration that found methanol in Mexican imports. 37 Mexican companies were banned from exporting their hand sanitizers to the U.S., with nearly half of them voluntarily recalling their product, but only in the U.S. The Premier of Queensland, Australia, has earned the ire of her countrymen over anti-coronavirus measures that have been imposed in the state, shutting it off from the rest of the country. Their anger is further compounded by the fact that the COVID-19 rules, which have been introduced in Queensland, bans guests from dancing at weddings but allowing group sex at swingers clubs. Commenting on the measure in an ABC interview, a wedding entertainer said it is ironic that if he attended a wedding with his wife, he would not be allowed to dance with her there. However, if he decided to go to a sex club, it would be okay to swap partners with people who he doesn't know. Jamaica-born 45-year-old Michael King has been promoted to head of the NYPD Special Victims Unit. The announcement was made by Police Commissioner Dermot Shea last Thursday. King, who is also a registered nurse specializing in forensics, joined the force in September 2000, previously serving as commander of the crime scene unit. Since 2017, he's been the executive officer of the New York Joint Terrorism Task Force. Commenting on his promotion, he said attaining that position in the NYPD has been a dream job for him since he became a forensic nurse in 2009. King, who hails from Montego Bay, St. James, migrated to New York in 1991 after completing high school. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.